Regulations promulgated by state licensing agencies go hand in hand with building code requirements and are often even more rigid and resistant to revision. Because building codes specify the conditions for a broad range of building types, they are constantly being questioned, tested, and revised. Licensing standards, on the other hand, are less likely to be scrutinized on a regular basis. The building design of a nursing home can be required to comply with the basic mandates of all of the following codes and regulations. Federal. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, is a branch of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. CMS is the federal agency that administers the Medicare program and monitors the Medicaid programs offered by each state. Its mission is to ensure effective, up-to-date health care coverage and to promote quality of care for beneficiaries. CMS plays a significant role in the regulation of financial reimbursement for Medicare and Medicaid recipients. It can therefore impact a senior housing and care facility's bottom line significantly. CMS is responsible for setting and maintaining quality standards for all long-term care facilities and does so through complex document reporting requirements and a periodic survey. To be reimbursed for services, facilities must be inspected and certified by CMS. The American Healthcare Association, AHCA, publishes an annual survey that is utilized by state inspectors to ensure that standards of care are upheld and complied with. The survey, more than 500 pages in length, tracks factors used by the CMS and AHCA to assess the quality of services in long-term care facilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, is a wide-ranging civil rights law that prohibits discrimination based on disability. It sets design standards for access and use of public accommodation for those with disabilities. The Fair Housing Amendments Act, FHAA, is a law intended to increase housing opportunities for people with disabilities. It sets design standards for access to and accommodations within dwelling units. State. Each state typically regulates senior living facilities the following ways. Building code, typically the International Building Code or a modification thereof. International Building Code. The International Building Code, IBC, was developed in the 1990s by 3 regional code authorities to consolidate their regulations into one common code. The IBC has now been adopted in all 50 U.S. states. Modified or expanded International Code. Some states have modified or expanded the IBC to address specifics the IBC does not adequately address. Operations regulation. Each state provides minimum operations standards for long-term care, assisted living, and adult daycare. These regulations set minimum size standards for rooms and establish standards of care. Some states have eliminated their minimum design standards in favor of the American Institute of Architects, AIA's, Guidelines for Design and Construction of Healthcare Facilities. Life safety. Typically integrated as a reference standard within either the Building Code or the Operations Code. National Fire Protection Association, NFPA 101, is typically used, but which year of those standards varies from state to state. Need determination. Many states require a Certificate of Need, CON. The process of getting one is intended to contain costs borne by the public through entitlement programs. Cons vary by state and typically control how many beds can be constructed, or services or adult day health care participants provided for, project size and programming requirements, gross square foot building area per bed, project cost, and the scope of new construction or renovation. Financial security. Some states have significant regulatory oversight on entry fee retirement communities, for which they regulate minimum financial standards to protect consumers. Local. Unique local codes. In the past, many municipalities authored their own building codes. With the advent of strong regional codes and the IBC, most municipalities have abdicated this responsibility, though some cities still impose a unique code or offer amendments to the IBC. Local fire departments. Fire departments are involved in site plan review to ensure that their firefighting apparatus can access the site, to review a building's hazard level, and to review fire detection and fire suppression systems. They are also becoming increasingly involved in preparation for the support of other non-fire disasters. Few fire departments have written their own regulations. Most have adopted reference standards prepared by others, such as the NFPA. Fire departments typically inspect buildings before they are occupied to ensure that all fire detection, emergency communication, and fire protection systems are fully functional. Local Department of Health codes. In most instances, a local health department regulates sanitation. This typically includes swimming pools, commercial kitchens, and water treatment facilities. Reference standards. Agencies such as the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, Underwriters Laboratories, UL, and the American Institute of Architects, AIA, provide reference codes that are referenced by various code authorities. This is especially complicated with the NFPA, which authors NFPA 101 Life Safety, referenced into most codes and regulations. NFPA updates its codes every 3 to 5 years. NFPA 101 was updated in 2000, 2003, 2006, 2009, and 2012. Different agencies have different processes for adopting updated reference standards. As a result, it is not unusual for multiple versions of the same reference standard to be applied to the same project by different regulators. The AIA's Guidelines for Design and Construction of Healthcare Facilities provides guidelines for many elements of the design of healthcare and long-term care facilities. Energy codes and sustainable design standards. Increasingly concerned with energy efficiency and sustainable design, many states have authored or adopted minimum standards for building envelopes and the energy performance of buildings. Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, LEED certification, is now mandated by many states and municipalities.